So she's 28 years old, allowing herself to love, to be loved, pursuing love, allowing love. Ends up in a relationship with a guy. Things go well for long enough. But she feels him pulling away. And she decides that somehow, some way, maybe bringing a new life into the world together will keep them together. Things go well. The child stays, of course, but he's gone. She shuts herself off for some time. And after a year and a half of allowing herself to know herself, to love herself, she finally allows the opportunity to see and be seen. She reaches out, he reaches back. New guy. It lasts long, longer than the first relationship, but not nearly as long as she would like. She was in it forever. He was in it for now. They end up having their own child. And now she's 33 years old, mother of two, 3-year-old daughter, 15-month-old son. The calls she makes to her friends and family oftentimes go unanswered. Everyone's busy, being busy with their own life. They've got their own things going on. She is just forced to have to understand just the nature of life. We're all grown adults with our own agendas. She finds herself looking for connection in some way and looking for escape. Her friends, few and far between. And the memories that she's created with them, even less. And sadly, she finds her escape through drugs. Because, unfortunately, the drug dealer is the only one that answers her calls. On one particular day, to help her go on her own vacation in the comfort of her living room, he adds a little something extra. It's a high she had never felt. There was already shame. Shame associated with the fact that she does drugs, when really it was the drugs that were doing her in. She tried reaching out. She tried opening up. But those conversations didn't last long and didn't get where they needed to. So the drug dealer answers her calls. She couldn't find anybody to babysit. She couldn't find the help she needed, either with the children she had or with the child her parents had, being her. So there she is, sitting against the cold tile of her bathroom. Her dealer added even a little extra to keep her on her cruise ship a little bit longer, but sadly, on this particular occasion, she never made it back to shore. She's 33 years old, laid on the bathroom floor, dead. Now, because she couldn't find a babysitter, and it's just her and her 2 kids to keep her 15-month-old baby somewhat occupied, he was strapped in his car seat. 3-year-old daughter looking to mom, pushing mom, trying to wake up mom. Mom's never waking up. The 3-year-old starts scrambling, so short, such a short reach. She starts turning on the bathroom faucet, taking what little water she can retrieve in the palms of her hands and bringing them back to her little brother, who she can't get out of the chair. And even if she could, where would she take him? Where would he go? She can reach a few eggs that were on the kitchen counter. She starts cracking them, feeding them to him, sparing her own need for nourishment. 4 days go by. Little boy's gone. His little sister barely there, barely holding on. You see, the mother had so many calls go unanswered. So few times anyone ever just stopped by to say hello or call to see how she was or if she's okay. The reason why I'm bringing this story to your attention, which by the way is entirely true, is because we are conditioned to easily dismiss a simple but powerful question, which is, how are you? You see, because as we grow up, we realize that it's less genuine. See, how are you is synonymous with hello and goodbye. People ask and then walk too quickly for us to answer. People start conversations with how are you, but then move on to how they are, if they express that at all. And while right now we feel compelled to distance ourselves, and COVID hasn't done nearly as much to distance us as politics, personal beliefs, I can't help but wonder, do any of you even care how this woman voted, whether she is Republican or Democrat? I never gave a name of her or her children. Do you care if she's white, black, Latino? Does any of that matter? Does any of that affect the intensity of the loss of 2 babies? The 3-year-old is alive, but you see that 33-year-old woman, when she was curled up, no different than a baby curling up in its own fetal position. We're all someone else's baby. Let me repeat that. Every one of us is someone else's baby. And when we're gone, that's all people are thinking about. The mother and the father, my baby is gone. So since none of that matters when it pertains to this story, why does it matter in our decisions on who we associate with, who we care about, who we befriend? See, a lot of people actually make a lot of money off of keeping us isolated. You can make $1,100 off a 1-bedroom, but only $1,300 off a 2-bedroom. If no one has any friends, then they're constantly calling Uber to pick them up and drop them off. If no one has friends or close family, then they're calling food delivery instead of just simply saying, hey, can you stop by and grab me something? You see, you divide, you conquer. And that 15-month-old boy died because no one simply insisted on asking his mother, how are you? So what do I want you to do? A call to action is what it's called. I'm almost done. What I want you to do, every single rectangle, whether illuminated or completely dim, what I want you to do, actually what the world needs you to do, forget me, because you don't know me, but you know this world because you live within it. What the world needs you to do is it needs you to find 5 people. Just scroll through your contacts, like when they do The Price is Right and they just spin the wheel and stop and call, not text. Not message on Facebook, call. Hear their voice, their intonations in their speech, the excitement, the pause, the sadness. Call 5 people and ask those 5 people when you're done, asking them, how are you? And insisting on getting a real answer. And it's not their fault. It's not their fault. They're going to say, hey, how are you? They're going to say, I'm fine. How are you? I'm fine. How are you? I'm fine. How are you? It's conditioning. No, really. How are you? And not how are the kids? How are you doing? Because as we've heard from this story, it doesn't matter if the kids are healthy, if the mom is falling apart. It doesn't matter how ripe the fruit is if the trunk of the tree is severed. So call 5 people. And at the end of that conversation, ask those 5 people to call 5 people. And don't ask them. Don't ask them about any of this bullshit, about the politics, about names you know a lot about today and didn't know at all tomorrow. Stop. Connect. Because the life you save is on both sides of that phone, both sides of that